Hello and welcome to my meditation. I am so grateful that you have joined me. My name is Deborah Baker and we are going to spend a little time settling in, relaxing, remembering our oneness to the Creator, all that is, whatever your name for your higher power or your higher self is, doesn't matter. Let's just take a really deep breath. Let's take 3 really nice deep breaths. And as we exhale, just feel your stress and tension drain away and your body just relax. Fill your lungs up and then next time think about filling up all 5 lobes of your lungs. And then letting go. And once more. Fill them all the way up and hold your breath for just a second. And then slowly, slowly, slowly exhale. So we know that we are infinite beings, spiritual beings having this human experience. But do we really know? Do we really believe? Do we really, in our heart of hearts, take that in? So that's what we're going to do in this meditation. Just go back and imagine what it was like as you were one with spirit, one with all that is. I like to think of it as being in the collective oneness, and because we kind of know what is below our feet, dirt and more dirt. Most of us, or a lot of us, tend to think of God or the infinite as being up there. And that's okay. It doesn't matter what you think of, more so that you think of. And so let's imagine being in this collective oneness, fully supported. So you feel like everything and everyone, all of the energy supports you. It all has your back. It is all aligned with your highest good. And at the same time, no one's highest good can forsake someone else's. So we are all aligned with the collective highest good. And I'm not here to argue the point. I'm here to let go of the point and just be in the idea, be in the oneness. And so here you are in this nice, supportive, loving environment, which, a lot of us have not experienced on earth, that kind of support, that kind of unconditional love, or we just have snippets of it. I hope that you have had experiences of unconditional love. I hope that these meditations give you 15 to 20 minutes of feeling like you are in a loving presence, like you are not being judged or, not being accepted, but that you are accepted and loved and supported exactly as you are. You don't have to believe the same as me in anything. We are all walking our human journeys. And we each came here to have our own unique experiences. And I was helping out in my daughter's kindergarten class one time, and they were supporting diversity. This was years and years ago, 1989. And the question posed to these children was, what would it be like if we were all alike? And the answer that we were encouraged to help them land on was, it would be boring. All the same, everybody wearing the same clothes, having the same ideas, believing the same things. Because our differences can be wonderful, but at the same time, having The sameness being, I support you in believing whatever you feel is yours to believe. And so feeling the sense of being in the oneness. And then knowing that you came in to have this human experience, fully supported by the universe. You know, the one presence and the one power saying, I'm going with you. You're not going by yourself, I'm going with you. I will be the nucleus of each of your cells. I will be in the midst of your thoughts. I will be in your heart. And so you feel this one presence and this one power. And I'm sure it is shocking to feel that sense of oneness and then be born into a human body and experiencing separateness. It's got to feel shocking, you know. Probably most of us don't remember. But our instinct with babies is to hold them close, you know, because we want them to not feel alone. We want them to feel like they are part of us, part of the human race, part of our families. And so as you go about your life, you've made this decision to have this human experience, and you came in, you chose a family and a personality and a body that would give you the experience that you came here to have. I know a lot of people talk about learning lessons, and I just don't see it that way. I see it as we come here to have experiences. And in my many years as a psychic medium and intuitive, I have met a handful of people who came here to have happy lives, you know, that didn't necessarily revolve around a lesson. And I also see, as I'm doing their readings, that they've had lots of past lives that maybe weren't as easy as this one, and decided, I'm not going to have a hard life this time. And then the other part of that idea is, sometimes we make our lives a lot more difficult than they need to be, right? And so let's imagine that we can settle into our infinite selves. We can settle into the one presence that said, you're not going by yourself, I'm coming with you. And so to settle into that, to remember who we really are. Because as we complete these human experiences and go back to the oneness, and the first thing, my understanding is, the first thing we experience is the oneness, is the peace, the support, the unconditional love. Here we are. You know, people who have had near-death experiences describe it as the white light. But that white light is inside of you. It doesn't just await you at the end. It is inside of you. So imagine that you are facing a decision. I invite you to know that your infinite self already knows the answer. There's a Daniel Nahmod song, and I'll try to tag it in the video at some point. It says, I don't need to know because God knows. And he lists all these sorts of things. I don't need to know why it rains and why the wind blows, because God knows. And when we get to that place where we can accept the questions and live the questions, instead of trying so hard and demanding the answer. I have times when I have clients who ask me questions, and the answer, it's rare, but sometimes the answer just is that it's not yours to know yet. And being peaceful with the unknown is a huge place of power. when we are okay with, I don't need to know, because God knows. So I invite you to just settle into the infinite. Take a nice deep breath and know that there is a presence, an infinite presence moving in, through, and as you. So moving in you means that in your actual body, first of all, you have everything you need to be healed, to be healthy. And in your mind, you have the oneness in your mind so that you can know. And sometimes it seems easier not to know. You know, I struggle occasionally, right now, with carrying a little more weight than I would like to. And when I finally admit to myself, well, there's a simple equation, and that is take in less than you put out, and then your body burns, your fat is fuel. And I don't want to know that. I want to, make it complicated, and I want it to be, well, complicated and easy. Well, if I, do all of these things, all the latest research. And it comes down to a very simple math, and that is take in fewer calories than you burn up. And I'm not preaching that at all. What I'm saying is sometimes I know things and I don't want to know them. I encourage you to be as honest with yourself as you can about what you truly know, because you know more than you think you do. So God moving in you, in your thoughts, in your words, to speak the truth. And maybe the truth is that you know it, but you don't need to say it, or you find a very diplomatic and loving way to say the truth. God moving in and through us. And how does God move through us? In a simple way, it's through random acts of kindness. Through doing things. There's the university that I attended, that I graduated from, has this thing. Now they're promoting people to hold the door. And you think about that. You're going through a door, you hold it for the next person behind you. What a small, simple act of kindness it is, and yet, what a profound act it is. So I invite you to acknowledge to yourself all of the kindnesses that you give out, that you express, that you live in your life. So many ways that you are kind, that you don't even admit to yourself that you're kind. In, through, and as you. You are God. Sometimes you are the only God that someone will encounter in their lives. And when you can allow your infinite self to express more and more and more, it almost always expresses as kindness, as love, as consideration, and also as gratitude, as peace, as support, as acceptance. I invite you to just take a deep breath and imagine that the infinite presence, which is all around you as well as inside of you, so it's all, tingly around you, and it is speaking to the infinite presence in each of your cells and awakening it. Till your whole body is alive with your infinite self. What would you do? How would you live your life differently if you really believed that you were an infinite being, expressing right here, right now, as you? And so awakening, when you're doing your ABCD practice in the morning, awakening your awareness of the oneness and inviting it to wake up in all of your cells and breathing into it. and then connecting with it. I had a really funny week because I had shared last week about, the C being conscious contact, and that, I usually say, okay, God, this is what I see as happening for the week, the day, and, give me the strength or the wisdom or whatever it is I think I might need, guidance. And I had at least 2 days this week where almost nothing happened as I had foreseen it or as I planned it. And because I had checked in with my infinite self early in the day, I was able to go with it and not say, oh, nope, this is supposed to happen this way, and just trust that God is moving in, through, and as me, and I was able to be of maximum service to people who really needed me. And then the D is downloading, which means if there's more than you think you need, more than you have that you think you need, allowing yourself to receive it. I invite you to think of the end result and not how you think you need to get there. So I had a client one time who said, well, I figured it out. I need $10,000 to do this, 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 and this. And my guide said, shift her focus. Try to, encourage her to shift her focus. So it's like, okay, you need $2,000 for a car repair. Well, what if, when you go to the mechanics, you find out that it actually was only a $50 repair? What if, each of these things, if we put the end result in God's hands, which is all of my bills are paid, I feel comfortable and happy, everyone in my family feels loved and secure and safe and healthy, and that the friends that I have that are going through health challenges, that they are healed 100%. And when I put that in God's hands, then I don't have to think of how. And we're not intended to figure out how. We are intended to be in the flow and paddle our canoes. And let the current take your canoe to the safest path in the river. Trust that God is guiding you each and every step of the way, because the one presence and the one power is moving in, through, and as you. You've got this. Because you are not just you by yourself, your little human self. You are you connected to the infinite. It's kind of like, when you turn your computer on, if you actually have a desktop or even a laptop, and then you connect to the internet, and then suddenly the world is at your fingertips. It's a very, clear parallel. When you feel like you are just your human self, it's small. But when you realize that you are connected to God's internet, the worldwide wonder of God, then you're not small. You are one and peaceful and loving and kind, and no matter what happens, you can roll with it because you've got this. And you are whole and perfect. How about the worldwide wholeness? You're whole and perfect, exactly as you are. I invite you to accept every foible. I talked about the weight thing. So I accept my body as it is, knowing that I will get healthier as I, accept the guidance I'm being given and follow it. There is a force moving in, through, and as you that is bigger than you, that is loving you, unconditionally accepting you, supporting you. You are whole and perfect exactly as you are, having a human experience that has its challenges, its limitations. And when we focus on the limitations, they seem to get bigger. And when we focus on the infinite, the peace settles in. And the limitations are just human. They'll be taken care of. as will you, as will all of us, as we trust the infinite. Take a nice deep breath. Invite the infinite presence to remind you that it is moving in, through, and as you in every moment. I open my heart to you and wish you a wonderful week, and I will see you next week. Namaste.